Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is my 30th video message related to COVID-19. It's May 14, 2020, 5 p.m. First, the number of cases remains stable in the region, still 5 in the MRC Côte de Gaspé and 174 for all the Gaspésie Île-de-la-Madeleine region. Of the 174 cases, there are also 8 deaths and now 141 cured, thus a total of about 25 active cases throughout the region. Today, I quickly return to the issue of the reopening of the region, the announcement of Minister Isabelle Charest on sports, and the decision taken on the meetings of the Town Council. First, the region reopening. Several took my interview last night with Denis Lévesque at TVA. You understand that this is not an easy issue because we oppose the economy and health. But you have to be healthy to generate the economy, and that the economy has to work to afford a health care system. So from the beginning, I always repeated, everything about the pandemic must be decided or directed by the public health. They have expertise in pandemic management. Non-elected official, mayor, deputy or minister has this expertise. We can represent citizens and apply public health guidelines in our communities, but we do not have their expertise to make decisions about pandemic. Currently, our regional director has expressed a desire to delay the opening of the region's borders because the limited clinical capacity of our healthcare system to receive potential new patients. The North Shore made the same representation successfully in their case. Every day, the politicians tells us that this is public health that decides. But in the case of the reopening of our region, regional public health is clear, but the national says no. It's quite a paradox. And beyond this, his expertise, our regional director of public health is in the process of documenting scientific analysis to support his point with the government and to model a gradual reopening of the region, respecting our ability to receive new people in the territory at present. We have provided him local data and we'll see what happens next. Another issue is the practice of sports. Yesterday, Minister Isabelle Charest unveiled the first act of her plan to deconfine the sport. The first step is to reopen access to free activities and individual sports from next week. In the case of municipal infrastructures, our decision allows us to add only the tennis courts to the infrastructure that can be reopened. Therefore, the beaches, bike path, promenade with a restriction for the one-way, athletic tracks, and for the next week, the tennis courts will be now open. However, we do not have yet the possibility to open the softball, hockey, soccer, rugby, football, basketball, gym sports, skate park, pump track, etc., according to the public health guidelines. In what is not on the municipal jurisdiction in Gaspé, we also note the possibility of opening the golf course, some nautical activities such as solo sailing, kayaking, or swimming in open water. We also learned today that the Foreign National Park could reopen their trails on June 1st. Good news about the diversity of outdoor activities for our citizens. However, there is no indication yet for campsites or other activities at the park. And in all cases, for the sports and for the park, the 2-meter rule or 6 feet rule. 6 feet rule, exactly. And the ban of gatherings remains the priority to follow. And in case that the 2 meters are impossible to respect, the wearing of the mask becomes essential. For my last topic for today, as you know, the Town Council cannot hold public meetings because they are gatherings and gatherings are forbidden. It's therefore done by video conference and then uploaded on the web for the sake of transparency, as encouraged by the Minister of Municipal Affairs. The only thing that had not been yet done was to open the formal question period of the meeting. Honestly, I feel like I'm 24/7 in the question period these days. But based on what other comparable municipalities are doing, we have identified a simple way to proceed without technological pitfalls that will hinder people desire to participate. So from the next meeting, we are going to test a written question period. So the Friday before the meetings, we will publicize the agenda and putting online a small, simple and effective web form for people to ask the questions they would have to come to ask in public. Public policy questions will be retained and answered in session by following the usual 20-minute limit. But as I often say, you do not have to wait for council meetings to ask your questions. Your elected officials and the municipal team are there every day, while the sessions are 2 weeks long from another. But if you prefer the usual public sessions process, we're going to test it that way, by written questions. For the moment, when the whole council has better tamed the technology platforms, and when we can think about going into direct mode, we'll probably go there. But for now, it's more difficult, so we will proceed by written questions. So I remind you that we are in exceptional measures, so we are gradually adapting. Finally, I reiterate my call for cautious and respect for the basic guidelines of the public health in the face of COVID-19. So wash your hands, no hands to the face, cough in your elbow, distance of 2 meters with others, no gathering, and attention to our elders. Please, they are the more vulnerable people actually. This is important to respect these instructions, especially at the time when the process of deconfining has begun. So more people are traveling, and more people travel, and more are the risks. Bigger are the risks. I encourage you also to make local purchase as a priority, as much as possible. I thank all the volunteers and all the essential service workers, and to everyone, let's follow the instructions. It's important. Every action counts. It's going to be fine.